Hello and welcome to the Canada Learning Bond presentation. Here you will learn how you can receive up to $2,000 for your child's future in post-secondary education. In Unit 1, you will be learning what the Canada Learning Bond is, how it works, and what the eligibility requirements are. Now, before we get started, I just want to clarify one thing. I am not a financial advisor. I'm a Métis navigator here to assist you in the process of applying for the Canada Learning Bond and navigate any barriers you may be having. First, let's find out what the Canada Learning Bond is. The Canada Learning Bond is a free education savings grant from the Government of Canada to help with the cost of a child's education after high school. We all know how important it is for our child to attend post-secondary school, but some of us are not able to put savings away for our children. This is where the Canada Learning Bond comes into play. This benefit is deposited into a child's Registered Education Savings Plan, or RESP. You can open up an RESP at most financial institutions, such as a bank or a credit union. They can also be opened at other service providers, such as an investment dealer or a mutual fund company. The money in an RESP grows with time, and this can be withdrawn when a child is enrolled and put into a post-secondary program. Education savings grants can also be used for post-secondary education related costs, such as transportation, books, or even housing. So let's talk about the eligibility now. In order for your child to be eligible for the Canada Learning Bond, he or she would need to be born January 1st, 2004 or later. And your net family income would need to be equal to or less than $48,535. If you have 4 or more children, the income levels do go up, which I will show you on the next slide. Your child would also need to have a valid social insurance number, and if they don't have a social insurance number, they would need a birth certificate in order to attain this. If your child does not have either one of these documents, please reach out to me and I can guide you in the proper direction in order to attain these. Also, we do have a certain amount of funding set aside to offset the cost of birth certificates if needed. And last but not least, you will need to have your income tax up to date and officially declared. The government will use this to determine your income level. And if you don't have your income tax up to date, please let me know, as there may be free tax clinics in your area that you may not be aware of. Here's the chart that I had mentioned in the previous slide. You will see here the income levels go up when you have 4 or more children. If this pertains to you, be sure to look this over to see if your income levels fall within the ranges. This will give you an idea of how the Canada Learning Bond works. If your child qualifies, he or she would receive an initial $500 that would be deposited into an RESP. Also, based on your income levels from year to year, they could receive another $100 a year up until the age of 15, which could equal up to $2,000. Here is another diagram of what the Canada Learning Bond looks like. You can see here the initial deposit of $500, and then you can also see how the $100 a year would equal $2,000 if your child was eligible every year based on your income. You may be wondering, do I need to apply for this every year? No, you do not. This is only a one-time application, and your eligibility is automatically rechecked every year based on your income tax. So it's very important to keep your income tax up to date. Now for the big question, will this cost you? I am so happy to tell you that this will not cost anything. There is no contribution required for the Canada Learning Bond, so this is essentially free money from the Government of Canada. In order to receive the Canada Learning Bond, you will need to open an RESP. This is where the Canada Learning Bond will be deposited. Our project works in partnership with financial institutions such as Vancity, TD, BMO, RBC. If you happen to be someone who has heard of RESPs in the past, it may have been from a different service provider other than the bank, and thankfully the banks that we have partnered up with offer a no-cost RESP. Here are some points for you. The Canada Learning Bond is retroactive, which means it could be backdated. So if your income is a little bit higher now, you could still go back and qualify for the years when your income was below the threshold. I love that about the CLB. Another thing that is important is that it does not impact any government assistance a family receives, so it's not going to change anything if you're receiving assistance from the government at all. And like I said before, eligibility is rechecked every year based on your income tax, so it's important to keep this up to date. And last but not least, this grant will stay in the RASP until your child is enrolled in an accredited post-secondary school. In case you're wondering what happens to the Canada Learning Bond if your child decides not to continue in a qualifying education program. The Canada Learning Bond will remain in the RASP for up to 36 years. After that time, if it is not used, it will be returned to the government. And another very important thing to know, some RASPs are transferable between siblings. However, the Canada Learning Bond is not. So what if you have an RASP and you're not sure if your child is getting the CLB already? The first thing I would do is check the RASP account statement. If you don't have an RASP account statement, I would contact the financial institution where you open the RASP, or you can also call the Canada Education Savings Program line at 1-888-276-3624. This is the end of Unit 1. I hope this has provided you with a better understanding of what the Canada Learning Bond is and how it works. If you would like to learn more about the application process, please proceed to Unit 2. And if you have any questions or concerns, my contact information is on the very next slide. Here is my contact information. You can contact me either by my cell number below or if you prefer by email. If you look just below my email address, you will see our Métis Nation website address. There are lots of great resources here for Métis families, so when you have the time, I encourage you to go and have a look.